Fans of the Horus Heresy, Warhammer 40,000, Resin science fiction miniatures and Orkoids in the future, thank you very much for joining me for a sample review of Spellcrow Miniatures Orc models. So this is a second part to my review of the second set of samples that have been kindly provided to me by Spellcrow Miniatures for review purposes. This follows on from a Space Knights video I posted recently, and these are actually extra to what I asked for review purposes. So these have been put in as an extra bonus. I mean, it was all given to me free anyway, but it's nice to see something extra. So I don't normally do orcs, but it'd be fun to have a look at these. As before, just to remind you guys, these samples have been provided to me by Spellcrow Miniatures free of charge, so I've not paid anything for them. I will review them impartially as always. If they're good, I'll say they're good. If they're not good, I'll say so. But please do bear that in mind when you're assessing the opinions that I offer you. So the way we're going to do this review is we're going to go heads, then we're going to go bodies, then we're going to go choppy bits, and then we're going to go shooty bits, which I think in terms of the order of preference for combat style, that's about right, if you get what I mean. Anyway, so we've got two sets of head. We've got three sets of heads even. Let's start off with these. Now, I've had a quick look at these, and to say that these miniatures are characterful is to pass up a great opportunity to use the phrase Cockney Orcs. So, what have we got? So this guy's got this gas mask on. This guy's got another gas mask on, a nose widget, a set of diving goggles, and a head doodly wob. This guy's got a cigar, important to have a cigar when you're an orc, and a pair of night vision goggles, it looks like, or perhaps they're make a bigger glasses. This guy's got another variation on some sort of gas mask apparatus, as has this guy, though this guy does look like a highwayman orc. He's got some goggles as well. I don't know quite what to say about these other than they're very, very characterful. They're a lot of fun. If you're familiar with the artwork of the Rogue Trader era of Warhammer 40,000, this really makes me think of the artwork of one of the greatest orc artists ever as far as I'm concerned, which is Paul Bonner. And if you remember his artwork, these guys epitomise it really well. If you've never seen Paul Bonner's orc artwork, go have a look on Google, find some of his pictures, they're hilarious. They're incredibly well drawn, but they're also bursting with character as well. Let's just have a look for the casting quality, make sure we are happy. If I'm happy, hopefully you guys and girls will be likewise. Yeah, very good. Now, I'm not that familiar with orc models, but if you had, I mean, they do their own orky torsos and the heads just wab on, the head's just going like that. I don't know if you could go on orc torsos from other manufacturers as well, so I'm not sure about that. Let's move these forward a bit, so they're done. So we'll go to the second set of orc heads. Oh gosh, right. Okay, it's Storm Boys time. Yeah, definitely Storm Boys. Crikey, look at those. Got some nice style helms. Got his biker goggles. He's got his Totenkopfverband peaked cap on. More goggles, and is that the same? Is that those two? Or are they different? Are they different? No, they're slightly different actually. It looks. Oh yeah, he's got a cigar. He hasn't. There's a few air bubbles on these guys that would need fixing. They got one there. He's got one on there. It looks like there's a couple in the recesses of his cheeks. I'm not sure if those are though. They just might need cleaning up. It would probably fill easily enough with some super glue. But yeah. And this guy, the Commandant, just looks great. And then we've got the same sprue again. It's got got air bubbles in the same spots, it appears, here and here. And the cheeks are very sunken again, so. But apart from that, very well cast. Only a slight seam to remove. So what we've had guys with gas masks, we've had commandos or blood axes perhaps from back in the day, and now we have, oh, these look fun, I believe what would be called freebooters. Oh god, what has this guy got? He's got a Tesla brain gubbins attached and his monocular make bigger. Here we have a chap with a nice pair of there's little nose glasses and a bowler hat, so he's clearly an orc gentleman of distinction. This guy has a monocle and a pipe. This chap has got a top hat with a skull on it and a cigar. And then this chap, he's clearly got another, it seems like he might have an air-cooled thinking hat on. Interesting. Are these steampunk orcs or orc gentlemen, if there is such a thing? Is that not an oxymoron or an orcimoron to say orc gentleman? I think so. Let's look at these. Same again. Yeah, great. Hilarious miniatures. I didn't point it out. There wasn't one air bubble on one of these guys, but it was only small. Just there on his chin, but as I say, just a small thing, easily filled. Again, loads of character, very Paul Bonnet-esque. I do like those. Particularly the guy with the Tesla thinking gubbins hat on. He's great. Right, let's do these torsos. What do we have? We have 3 big muscly looking orc torsos, which are beautifully cast. Those are great. Yeah, very nice. Little bits of seam to take off between the legs, but for such a large resin model, that's really well turned out. Very good. They got some ammo bandoliers and we've got some ropes. We've got a chopper and we've got a stick grenade, spelt with 2 Ks by the way. Oh, that's a chopper in its scabbard. So even the orcs know to have a scabbard. Very good. And I guess you could stick any of those heads on here. Although I think for the orc gentleman, I don't know if they do this, but you know, a suit, a waistcoat and a jacket I think will be quite in order. Right, let's move on to what I call the choppy bits. So there's 2 sets here. We've got the mechanical choppy bits and then the manual choppy bits for doing the meaty bits, as some orcs say. I think that's what they said in Dawn of War 2, wasn't it? Doing the meaty bits. Right, we've got a variety of weapons and tools. So we have a pipe, which is good for whacking oomies. We have an axe, which is good for whacking oomies in tin shells. We have a axle with a couple of big nuts on it, which is good for whacking weeaboo space panzers. We have a short-handled stiff blade, which I believe is perfect for whacking skeleton tin boys. We have a pick, I believe. Yeah, pick, yeah, which is good for whacking those robots. And then finally, we've got a big stabber, which is great for dealing with demons. There you go. A weapon for every enemy race. And then we've got the same again. So you get double in the set. Well, quite a big seam to clean up on that arm. Bit more of a, probably rate that as a small mold slip there. That's going to take a bit more cleaning up. It will clean up, although it's going to take a bit more work. You can get away with a bit more offset on these larger pieces, although it's going to take, yeah, there's a bit on that thumb, so there's, I mean, these are the only real mods I've looked at which have got any substantial cleanup to do. Do I think these can all be cleaned up fine? Yes, I think they can, yeah. The weapons all seem to be well formed though. So let's have a look at the first set again, just make sure, see what they're like. These are better aligned looking at these, I can tell it straight away. Whoops, sorry camera. Funny as well. They're quite characterful, fun weapons. I guess is what you want with orcs. You know, you want weapons with orcs that look like it would take about 2 humans to lift. And those big choppers look that way. Right, then we have some mechanical hands or claws perhaps. I guess these are what your orky boys or your orky knobs want if you're up against any of the Oomies big tin cans. Yeah. And really big tin cans as well. In case you're wondering what I mean, that's Dreadnoughts and Terminators. Right, so what are these like? Nice design. They look really crude, which is quite orky, and like these things are sort of shearing cutters. You've got a bit of work to do here with cleaning these up because I've got a bit of a mold slip that's running down this set of parts. You can see it, can't you? It will clean up. I think you'll get away with it on account of how these are cruder weapons than say, human type weapons, so you can get away with it. I mean, yeah, it's just going to take a bit more work to get that looking perfect. And there's some nice variety I've just noticed. You've got kind of like an exhaust, you've got a tube, you've got maybe a power cord, another exhaust, you know. Oh yeah, it repeats 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, but even on a single sprue there, they've got quite a lot of different variety into these. Everyone's different actually looking at it now. Yeah. Well, there's 3 different designs, but they all look very characterful. And with these being resin, you could certainly bend the upper arm to get some variety into the pose as well. Heat bend it, that is. And then finally, we're going to do the shooty bits. Right, so we've got a skull. Target practice skull, so that would make a nice objective marker, wouldn't it? These guns appear to be at rather large caliber. It seems like snub-nosed revolvers are the order of the day here. These all look different. Lots of different arms and stuff there. Variety of intriguing trigger devices as well. It's Orc, so whatever goes. A few seams to remove, but no big issues on the clean up front. Those will all be pretty easy to assemble, put together, and look really good. Yeah, nice. And, ooh, this one here's got an extra head on it. Here, I guess a head must have escaped on that one. I'm not complaining, these were free samples. Yeah, so you do get an extra head there, very good. And I assume though, let me just check, this is the same sprue. Yes it is, yeah. Another target practice skull, which I do like, I love that. I mean, I said you could put it as an objective marker, as like a orc shooting range, or you could just put it on a belt of an orc or in its hand or something. That would all be quite funny. All looks very nice, yeah. Anyway, I don't know quite what to make of that. It's been a long time since I had any orc models. I mean, what do I think? I think they're big, they're brutish, they're very classic space orc style, and as I say, they really make me think of the Paul Bonnet era of orcs, particularly those heads, the heads are wonderfully characterful. They're really fun. What do you think of these orky parts? Do you like them? Do you know of any other orky parts that you can get on the market? Are you a big fan of Paul Bonnet's artwork of orcs from the Rogue Trader era? I'll be very interested to hear that as well. So other than that, I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching. I'll speak to you next time, and goodbye.